This is not the video I wanted to make today. In a perfect world, I would have sat here today and made an entertaining and informative video about my first impression of Pokemon Go, but unfortunately, that can't happen. You see, I can't sit here and make a video about a fun video game and just pretend like there aren't more pressing matters going on in the world. The past 3 days, I have avoided opening up social media. I've sped by posts in my feed for the ones that I chose to tune out so I can get to the ones about Pokemon Go, but I can't just sit back and stay quiet anymore. I'm saddened, sickened, and disheartened by everything I've seen, and above the events that have occurred, it's the reactions of the people on social media that have stricken me the hardest. What baffles me and terrifies me the most is that still, through everything this world has seen, we continue to fight. Hate with hate, violence with violence, ignorance with further ignorance. We continue to divide ourselves up and create civil wars that are spreading like wildfire. Everyone starts pointing fingers here and there, shoving the blame and chastising people based on race, religion, sexual orientation, and no one stops to even think that, hey, maybe I'm the one at fault. We want to give these troubles names. We call it a race problem, a police problem, a gun problem. We call it a Muslim problem, a gay problem, a black problem, a Mexican problem, a Trump problem, a liberal problem, a Republican problem, a white man problem, a feminist problem, a God problem. And whether or not any of these problems have been proven tried and true, no one stops to look at what they all have in common. Every single one of these is a human problem. Every single one is a division problem. Every single one of them is a hate problem. No one seems to understand that humans are individuals and groups do not define anyone. Every single human makes their own decisions, and those decisions do not automatically define any single person except for themselves. 2 men murdered in 2 days by police officers. In the response, 5 officers dead and 7 wounded in a sniper shootout that happened nowhere near where the previous events occurred. These are the civil wars I'm talking about. How can any one man look into the eyes of another man and shoot him point blank knowing that there's a 4-year-old in the back seat just feet away? And how can any one man go and shoot up 12 other human beings just because the person mentioned before happens to work in the same line of work as them? Taking the lives of fellow humans is disgusting and wrong. Every single one of us are human. Every single one of us are one and the same. But then we grow fear. Fear because no one is held accountable for the actions. Fear because that man that shot a father point blank in front of his child is on paid vacation. Fear because crowds are building anger. Fear because we don't know when the next bomb will go off. Fear because we aren't sure if a night out on the town is even safe anymore. And in this fear we find hate. Instead of putting our pride aside and working together to find rational solutions, we find hate. We argue our opposing opinions, and soon we're personally attacking our friends and family, and we find hate. And nothing gets solved because no one wants to stand up and take responsibility, and we find hate. Nothing gets solved because frustration doesn't lead to justice, it leads to revenge, violence, death, hate. We are so busy behind our mighty keyboards calling each other names because we don't agree, and no rational or helpful action is being taken. Do you really think you can change someone's mind by personally insulting them? Do you really think you can show someone your side of the story but be cruel to their own? I know you can't, because I'm guilty of this. Just because someone differs from you on one opinion doesn't mean they differ from you on everything. Just because someone is anti-police brutality does not mean that they are anti-police. And just because someone is pro-police does not mean that they are racist. Trevor did an incredible talk about that very point, and I'll leave a description down below so you can hear what he had to say about it. Tommy Lauren, whom I generally would never reference on a day-to-day basis due to her fueling the hatred fire, actually made one sensible final thought in which she described the importance of the fact that you do not know everything. Social media should not be your go-to for current events. That while a 5-second video clip can be helpful, it does not show the whole story. Even news can stray you and be biased. Then shortly after her having a little bit of sense, she made a bunch of racist comments, and there's now a petition to have her kicked off her own show, which is to be expected. But my whole point in this video is that time after time, we've been proven that fighting violence with violence and hate with hate and seeking revenge instead of justice it only leads to a world on fire. I'm not so naive to think that I can change a world with one little video, but I do know that a little can go a long way. So here's where you can start to take action. Try a little compassion for once. Start spreading love. When you are out walking around playing Pokemon Go all weekend, smile at everyone you pass. Wave at them from across the street. Regardless of their race, religion, sexual orientation, line of work, show them love. They will smile back. And then you won't see a uniform. You won't see dark skin. You will see a human, and you will find compassion. You will fight hate with love, and love will win.